I would like to hand it over to Sri Harikiran Abadlamani, who is the founder of the Indic Academy. He is an investor, an activist, a seeker, an aspiring artist, and a great foodie. So over to you, Harikiran.
Thank you, Akka. Thank you very much for giving me this opportunity to moderate this session on curry and beyond. One of the privileges of being your loving younger brother is that I can always throw a tantrum at you and say, look, I want this. And you're always indulgent and you always are compassionate towards me. And when I first heard that the kind of phenomenal speakers that you have curated for this session, I knew that I had to ask you this favor, and I knew that I wanted to be there here as a moderator. So thank you very much for allowing me to be a moderator in the session, first and foremost. One reason that I wanted to be a moderator was that the idea of soft power, the very idea of soft power that germinated in my mind way back in 15 years ago was when I had some work in London, and I used to make frequent trips to London. This was way back in 2005 and 2006. And so when I started visiting the restaurants there, whether it is, the first was, of course, Vineet Bhatia's Rasoi, Tamarind, Benares, all these restaurants in London. One fascinating experience that I had was that there were no Indians there. There were hardly any Indians. So we were having, it's an Indian restaurant, and there were no Indians. They were all non-Indians enjoying the food. And that was, my exposure to plated food, Indian food, because normally Indian food is family and it's shared, and you had plated food. But more importantly, I could actually taste different spices. Specifically, I could taste all the spices, the entire presentation, as well as the cooking. Was something extraordinary which you don't experience normally in Indian restaurants within India. That's when the idea that our culture, when you adopt it to global practices for global audiences, without losing the character, without losing the grammar, but at the same time, adopt the form and adopt the technology that is possible to make these different layers of fragrances and tastes possible to the palate. That's when I realized that we need to think about our culture and present it to global audiences in a completely different form. And that was the thought process for which a soft power idea was germinated, which then translated into Creative India Academies, and then translated into Indic Academy, and then the Center for Soft Power. So in a way, I personally believe that cuisine is, we all know about the importance of yoga and how yoga has played a role. But I think we haven't seen nothing yet as far as cuisine is concerned. Just in terms of, I was just going through the number of restaurants which are Michelin starred. I believe there are something like 2,300 three-star Michelin, about 450 two-star, and about 100 and odd three-star. And I see that probably there are about 10 to 15 restaurants, Michelin star restaurants in the world. Of course, Michelin itself is not prevalent in all the cities in the world, and that's one of the grouses that people have against Michelin. Now they're coming to the East also. But to me, as a percentage of how popular Indian cuisine is and how it is less represented in the Michelin world, to me means that there's some work to be done by us in terms of creating more Srijits, more Shabiji Balkaran, and so Manish Malhotra, so many new chefs that have conquered the new frontiers. We need to create more of these chefs. Even the Pellegrino list, if you see, Manish is there in the Asian top 10, and Gagan is there in the top 50. So, but the potential for Indian restaurants globally is immense, just in terms of the modernistic cuisine or molecular gastronomy that we are talking about, because we have more than 29 states and we have thousands of dishes, and the kind of innovation that's possible within this modernistic cuisine is immense. So it's always been my dream to see the number of Indian restaurants in the Michelin and the Pellegrino world increase. And we're talking about how to create a fund to invest in these kind of restaurants. And we'll talk about it in the panel discussion. But I'm very, very happy that we have such a esteemed panel to discuss about curry and beyond.